Well, hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to your February reading. I'm glad you're here. So, we are going to get into some oracle cards and then talk about what the energy is for February for you. Okay. So, we have first the Virgin in the Shadow attribute, fear of intimate union. Then we have Elder, move beyond ancestral patterns. All tied up. Love, compassion. Freedom horse. Healer of ages. Whale, breach. And then patience. Okay, Sagittarius. So right off the back, I can see that you created a sort of bubble around yourself to be safe. This is leaning more towards the love type of energy, but it could be anything for you. But it's like you've been through a lot and you're afraid to open up the safe space you've created because of who could enter, you know? What kind of person would you invite into that space? But I feel like you have enough wisdom and enough smarts to know who to choose and who not to choose, you know? This feels a lot like you need to trust yourself so you can move on. But I can see that whatever relationship you were in or situation before this was very tough. You made a decision to stay with this person for what seems like a long time to see if things would move forward or things would change because you had faith, you had trust that it would be better. Okay. And I feel like you were let down, but I don't really know much about it yet. I do see that going into February, you're definitely more free from that. Um, Almost like you might think about it, but it's more of the lingering effects that you don't want to re-enter, Um, and it's stopping you from starting again. But I feel like where you stand, you're good, But right now I'm seeing the fear of opening up to something new, the fear of finding someone you actually like and being able to start something new with them and have that sort of equal give and take, without being like, I was hurt, quote unquote, I was hurt and now I need you to give me more to prove to me, right? But when you meet a new person, it has to be balanced, That's not the one that hurt you. But, sometimes in our minds, we could be like, well, this person has to prove to me extra amount of hard. Okay. This is somewhere along this realm. Okay. So let's see what we have in the cards. Okay. All right, Sagittarius. Ooh. Okay, we have the Nine of Cups. Ten of Pentacles. Mm-hmm. I can already tell you thought this was going to be probably end all be all. We've been together for so long. I've put this work in. It's going to be worth my time. Nine of Swords, and it was not. Eight of Wands, the Magician, I see that you found other hobbies to do, other things to interest you, and you've kind of walked away from love as a whole. The moon, the Knight of Wands, and the Queen of Swords. Yeah. High Priestess, and the Chariot, and Justice. Yeah. So, so what I'm seeing now is it basically is like it's time for you to move on from something. You know, like you can't change what a person did to you or how a situation ended. You can't control that. But what you can do is do what's right and live justly or fairly moving forward. That's what you can do. And I feel like there are situations where you can sort of quote unquote pick up where you left off, Sagittarius, and just kind of move forward from the situation. But I feel like with the High Priestess here, there are things that are coming up that you didn't think to heal. You know, this is where this, for example, is where you've been in a tumultuous relationship, and you've been alone for a little while, and you're ready to enter the dating scene again. And you say to yourself, okay, I'm gonna meet someone new. But everyone you meet, you find every little thing the matter with them. You know, you're like, they had the nerve to ask me to do something and they should be doing everything. You know, it kind of is very like you're learning how to readjust. If not from being in a long-term relationship to dating again, because there is a difference. I know plenty of people who divorced and got back into dating and they're like, what is this? I don't think it's for me, you know? But I feel like you're realizing that you have to sort of start from scratch and you have to do things differently, and you're learning. Okay. So the first thing that I want to say, and this is coming out in the reading, Sagittarius, is you are very content. Emotionally, you are at a really good spot in February, okay? And this is less love, less whatever is going on in your life. Like you're in a good spot. You had to heal yourself, or you had to find out what made you happy and what didn't make you happy. And I feel like you've got that under control, like you understand it. And I feel like you're comfortable by yourself as well, like you've healed. That's the long story straight. You have healed. I feel like you've been working on yourself, you've been working on your career, and that's really what's helped you move forward. You sort of healed by not ignoring the situation, but not being involved. So you didn't meet another person to heal the fact, that you needed to heal. All right. You did it alone, I would say, or through work, whatever you prefer to say. But I feel like in February, I don't know if it's because of Valentine's Day, but I feel like there's a moment where you go, who will I marry? Who will be my companion? Who will be here with me? I need to go out and look for somebody. I need to find somebody. I need to be connected with someone. Okay, which is fine. But I feel like that's where it comes up for you, is in February. The worry that, it's the worry about finding somebody. And then it's the worry about, should I be finding somebody? Should I be connecting with someone? And there's a twist to that too, because there's another side that is like, this is almost too much for me to let someone enter sort of my sacred space. It's happening too fast. I don't like it. I want to push it back. But it almost has a feel of you have to sort of learn this lesson of how to open up. It's not going to go away. But I feel like this is when it's introduced to you that this is going to be something that you're dealing with moving forward. So you're trying to figure out at the end, because you feel this way, is this something I truly need? Right? Do I want a relationship? Do I want someone to enter my space? Or do I want to, it's like, are you going to face being alone right now and dealing with not having someone for your future because that's what brought you here, and be like, I'm not ready, so on and so forth? Or are you going to face the unknown of opening yourself up to something new? That's the big question, okay? Temperance, Seven of Pentacles, Page of Cups, Ace of Cups, King of Cups, King of Swords, Two of Cups, and the Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, I feel like you're satisfied and you're mentally stable, emotionally stable, and happy, Sagittarius. And you're just kind of, I would say basking is the word in that energy. Like no need to sort of explore love. I feel like that wasn't in the cards at first. You know what I mean? Like you weren't thinking about that. And I don't know if you were out maybe with family or thinking about like what family would think, or what, you do eventually want to have a family or you do eventually want to get married. I feel like all of these thoughts are just kind of swirling through your mind because you don't have any prospects. So it's a real big shift for you. It's like, I'm going from single to dating and searching for people to date. That's it's a big old transition. Yeah, I don't know if you feel like you're ready to make the investment because it's different when you have in your mind like I'm gonna find someone to date versus being in the cage with the tiger. um there's a different there's a different aspect to that, because I feel like the more that things start moving fast, and it will if you do dating sites and things like that, the more you kind of want to close off to it and you're not ready to be in it as much as you thought. I just feel like there isn't much preparation. There definitely is a feeling like I want this, but then you're here and you're like, there's more to this than I remember, Your finances are really good. The fact that you've put all your energy into your finances and career is really paying off for you. It really is. And I feel like it has been a very good regulator to your emotions because you can put all your feelings and energy into that. But I feel like because of that, it takes out that piece of whimsy and that little piece of excitement in your life that you get from having a significant other or things to do on the weekend and things like that. It's the companionship, working towards long term, I feel like that you like and you miss. It's not about really the dating and the flirting part. It's sort of like the process of working towards something long term. Like, okay, I eventually want to get married. Oh, I eventually want these things, you know? Um, long term, long story straight here, Sagittarius, you have to do things when you're ready to do them. Because I feel like, you know, this is something you're going to want eventually. You have that idea. I respect it, right? But I don't know that you're ready to open up. It's like you're so logical about love that when you meet people or when you try to connect with someone, you're looking at things extremely logically and like without the whimsy of love and excitement and how about this and flirtatiousness. It just doesn't have that in it. Um it's like whoever you meet or whoever you're connecting to, you're talking to them like, um or you feel like they're young or they don't understand or they're moving too fast or they're too passionate too fast. Like, it's it just feels like you're not ready, um to open up, to like you're critical about someone. But it's interesting because I feel like you're critical but someone is investigating you. Like, they're trying to figure out why you're like this and why you won't like open your heart to them. Be careful of closing your emotions off a little bit too much and try to be open. I feel like because you're going to regret if you close off, too many people too fast. It kind of sends you down that spiral of, am I lovable? And you are. It's just that you're setting up a scenario for failure for them. So that's why they feel the need to maybe run or move away, from you. So keep that in mind because I see a potential for you to be really sad about something and overthinking something. Um, it's like you have that realization that this person was really trying to get to know me. And I was being so closed off that I didn't allow it. And now it's gone. Okay. So just keep that in mind. Okay. Ace of Wands, the Fool, Two of Pentacles, Nine of Wands, the Tower, Wheel of Fortune, Three of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles, Temperance, Death, Seven of Cups, and the Knight of Cups. Okay, so work wise, I'm telling you, work is good. Um, you've been working really hard on your job, on work, on your finances. I really feel like Sagittarius, that's where you've been putting all of your energy in. And it's been paying off. Obviously, if you're working on that area of your life, it's gonna be a benefit, right? But I do feel like it's not as exciting or it doesn't give you that same umph like it used to, which is why you're kind of focused on love energies. Um, yeah, it's the realization that you do need to spend time doing something else because this is starting to, it's like spirit's way of telling you, or the universe's way, really, of telling you, like, okay, you're spending too much time in this area. You need to move to a different one for your, emotional safety and well balanced life or whatever. Okay. Um, but the problem is taking a risk to let go of something that has been working for you. You know, to take a step back and pause. I feel like it's scary because you're sort of moving away from a crutch that you had. Yeah, in February, I feel like you seem very defensive to people. And it's not that you are defensive as much as you're just trying to protect yourself. And because of that, people can't get towards you, they can't connect with you in the same way. Um, you're going to have to change that. And a lot of this is opening yourself up to emotional connections with people. Because if you don't, I feel like this is going to impact your environment more than you think. It's hard to explain, but it's sort of like everything that you've worked on to keep stable, it will kind of like depreciate. So this almost is a wake up call to get yourself together and open yourself up to compassion, and not just relationships, but compassion, friendships, love, being nicer to people, things like that. Okay. You definitely know in February that you need to put your energy towards being more compassionate and connecting with others. I definitely see that. Um, I just feel like there's a confusion between, do I go the logical way or do I go the passionate, this is how I'm feeling way? Do I follow how I feel? Do I follow the energy or do I follow logic? That's the confusion that you're having here. Because you felt like you following your passion before didn't really work 100%. So I feel like that's why you're a little iffy about the situation. You have friends, and quote unquote, you're friends with your coworkers. But I feel like these relationships that you have that are supposed to be more whimsy, um, are more are turning more into business relationships. They're a little too structured, not as friendly as they should be. Yeah, it feels like all of your relationships are more self oriented right now. And I feel like this has a lot to do with you being hurt in the past. I talked about this earlier. So because you have that sort of wound or you have that residual energy of like, I don't want to get hurt, I don't want to get trampled over, I don't want people to take advantage of me. I feel like you've kind of closed yourself off. So when people start to open up or come at you or the energy starts to amp up, you're like, boundaries, and not necessarily, it's not, I'm not going to say they're not healthy boundaries, but I will say this, Sagittarius. You have so many boundaries. Too many boundaries. Okay? Like you're making up boundaries like if this person walks at me too fast, it's too much. You know what I mean? Like it's too many boundaries. And all those boundaries that you've created to sort of create this bubble, like I told you before, cannot be penetrated by someone new or someone that you're trying to love because it's an intimate space. And you have to be like open, at least energetically, to connect in that kind of space. So keep that in mind, okay? All right, let's see what Spirit has for you, Sagittarius. Nothing will come of this situation. Exactly. If you don't touch the energy, if you don't get into an energy of compassion, love, and openness, then you won't have it. You know, love just doesn't approach you just to approach you. And if it does, most of the time it's not the one that you were looking for. But when you put yourself on the vibration of finding the love that you want, then it will connect with you. And that's what this is. You have to be willing to put yourself in the wave, in the wavelength. But I feel like it's a little bit hard for you because it gives me the vibe, I'm telling you, like I've been doing this by myself. I don't need anyone but wanting someone, you know? Okay. So we have lilies, mountain, and the coffin. So you're going to have to come with to peace with what has happened in the past and take a risk to try something new or to move on. Now, the mountain is telling you next to the lilies that it's going to be tough. But as long as you have the grace to understand that everybody has their own story and so do you. Okay. So you have to respect theirs as much as yours to know that, you know, like, and this is the example that I'm giving. I've gave this example earlier. When you meet someone to date someone, make sure that you're not expecting them to go 150% to make up for the last person's less 50. Okay. All right. So yeah. So it's going to be a struggle. I feel like it's more of a spiritual struggle because there's a lot of changes, a lot of accepting, a lot of learning new things that are happening for you, Sagittarius. But I feel like once you learn how to sort of put all of this down, close that chapter, move on from that, then everything just starts to flow in the way that it needs to. It's like your love life starts over again, you know? You start to change from the better. Yeah, it's about stopping the pattern. It's about ceasing a pattern and being open to intimate connection, compassionate connection. Okay? So I love you, Sagittarius, and I will see you later.